Hello everyone, welcome back to another Minecraft how-to. It's been a while, but we're back here with the French cottage. French cottages are mostly small buildings, maybe consisting out of one or two floors. And well, they're just very charming. They're very non-urban like, so they're just out there in the, what's the right word? I would say very countryside-like building. It's definitely not something you'll find in Paris. But it's very charming and it's a very fun little building. Let's get right into it, shall we? So let's tackle the front of the house first. You'll see that I used a very maybe checker pattern like wall with the sandstone and sand. It almost looks a little bit at random, which is kinda my point. You want it to be a bit random as you want to have that very natural feeling. In real life, you also have those stones that they used, and those are also like looking kind of random where they're all placed. But it fits nicely in one big picture. Then for the windows, I used the same method I always use for white windows, which is diorite. That's like the only time I actually use that block, because when else can use that thing, right? And in front we have some flowers. And on the side we also have some wooden shutters. Some white wooden shutters, as they will go better with the window frame. And I did that with white banners, and behind that there's some smooth quartz block. And if you look a little bit higher, you'll see that I used some stripped oak wood to have more foundation for the roof. And I also used a lightning rod and levers with an acacia fence to have some decoration of structural foundation. Then on top of that, I used mainly granite for the roofing, but they also switched off with some wax exposed cut copper, as it goes extremely well with granite, and also some mud bricks and packed mud for more of a color variation in the roofing itself. If you go a little bit higher, I also added some jungle stairs, and it also goes very well with the cut copper and with the mud and etc. And on top we have a funny acacia fence with a lightning rod. On the left we have basically the same thing as this part of the roofing. It's the same material, same method, but we also have some sections that come out of the roof which have a window in it as well. The windows are the same as the bottom windows, except there's no shutters. Top of the diorite for more decorational value, in case you ever fly over the building that it doesn't look all the same. Then you also have some whitening that kind of breaks off the one big blob of colors that you have. And of course I also have some acacia fence and lighting on top to, well, unionize that with this part of the roof. Of course, if you don't want to use the sandstone and the granite, there's other ways to do this as well. You can still use the sandstone and the sand, but then instead of using the granite, you can also use dark oak stairs, nether brick, and just spruce stairs to have a darker looking roof, maybe more of a countryside looking roof with all the wood. And let's say you still want to have the stone roofing, but maybe have a darker color, then you can use the underside with cobalt deep slate and cobalt to have more darkish gray looking stone roof. And if you only use a sandstone, you can play around with some terracotta. Try to as a little sample over here with yellow terracotta, some block of raw gold, and honeycomb and orange terracotta as the darker shading. Now if you continue looking at the outside of the build, we also see that there's a lot of greenery. There's a lot of flowers and plants. And if you look in detail, you'll notice that I use some terracotta here and there as well instead of flowers. In combination with, of course, all different kind of leaves. Just switch off leaves here and there and you'll notice that the leaves actually go very well together. Like the jungle, you said those green patterns, which maybe show that there are like new leaves coming out. But they're good to have more and more at the top of the plants. That's probably where the newer leaves come. And dark oak leaves are good at the bottom of the plant, as those are mostly older leaves. Over here I used purple glazed terracotta, but I also played around with some red glazed terracotta to have some rose plants going on here. And used some vines and glowberries to have more bewildering effect with that. I added some fences from out of the rose plant, so it doesn't seem to come out of nothing. Has more structural base and it's more one big part now. Instead, if I didn't add that, and it will just be over there, be existing, and nobody knows where the plant came from. So yeah, that's just a small little detail that really doesn't add too much, but it's good to have, so it looks more realistic. Then, if you want to use glazed terracotta as your flowers, I would advise to use the glazed terracotta that actually has a uniform color. So try to use some black glazed terracotta or maybe some brown glaze, but you'll notice that it doesn't really work that well. So if I add another little plant here, just quickly do some greenery, add some black glazed terracotta here and there. Don't really have to be thought out for this one. Then you'll notice that this one doesn't really look that great as a flower in comparison to maybe the pink one or the yellow one, and that's because there's different colors going on. And that's true with any of the other glazed terracotta that have multiple colors, for example the white glaze one or the orange glaze one. Yeah, you'll see which one has like different colors, right? Like this one, and that one. So those don't work that greatly as the uniform colored ones like the yellow and pink. Then on the side of the house, try to play around with maybe some ivy, like a big ivy plant that climbs on this, those wooden structural things you laid against your wall so the plants can climb. And what the hell are you doing there, Mr. Fox? Is that a flower? Is that a flower for me? Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Fox. Oh, I didn't mean to look at you that way. I'm sorry. So, yeah, you can try and do that. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but it's actually, I don't know, it adds a little bit to the building. It's a little experiment I did. I like it. It's fun. And on the back, you have those overhangs with all the plants. It's very difficult to have those in the more other regions in Europe, like, for example, Greece or Spain, and even indeed in France. You sometimes see those green overhangs. And on the back side, it's basically the same thing on the front side. And basically the same thing on the side as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire outside of this build. These kind of videos I try to limit myself to the outside. So let's say you want to build the interior in the same style as the outside. This is probably how I will do that. So it's a lot of wood, some decorational plants, some very charming interior. You could add dead brain corals for more the stone patterns, and the white terracotta if you want to have it more modern. If you want to have it more of an old style look, probably use a lot more wood than I currently use, but this is probably how I will do it, but you can play around with it, of course. And there you have it, a quick little tour of the French cottage. It's a very charming building and it's very fun to make. It's not too hard, and I would recommend you try building one of these as well. It's absolutely a blast making one of these, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.